Hi, everybody. This is DearMamaSal, and we're live on a Sunday afternoon, which is time for us to talk about coping with stress. And I thought that I would start early talking about things we can do for Christmas. And I know it's Thanksgiving weekend coming up for those of you who live in the States. But, I thought about it and went, hmm. We could use some of these broadcasts moving in towards Christmas to actually give you some ideas that hopefully will appeal to you and also not be too expensive. And that to me is my goal always, is to help you do things that are meaningful to other people, but not necessarily at great expense. So as you can see, I've got some stuff here that I managed to pick up at a dollar store recently. And I thought what we would do is to make a wreath. And you can do this for under somewhere between $10 and $15, uh, or less if you want to. It's really up to you how much you add or don't. The reality is, I was looking at the prices of wreaths, and the prices today of a wreath are getting really up there. And, that is the scary part, isn't it? But, I was looking online, and they can be anything from, 20, $25 right the way up to 200. So if you have the ability to just put a couple of things together, you are going to be able to give a really meaningful gift. And what we're also going to be talking about is how would you personalize it so that they would know you didn't pick it up at the local craft fair or something. Or if you manage to pick one up at the local craft fair, how do you add to one that you can do this with? So hopefully that's going to be fun for you all. I wanted to say that, first of all, the only tools I'm going to use if I need to is a wire cutter. This is a needle nose plier, but at the bottom here, it's got a wire cutting ability. I hope it works. I hope my arthritis manages it. And I also have got some command hooks just to remind you that if you're going to give a wreath, it's a really nice idea to put some command hooks in with them, just so that people don't have to think, well, I'd put it up, but I don't know how to do that. So those are the two things. The other thing I want to warn you about is these things. I have discovered they drop the red berries very easily and all the time. So just be aware of that. So this, I just thought I'd go through the prices. These are Canadian prices. So this little sprig of color cost me $3. I got a set of Christmas balls, and this cost me $1.25 for 6, which I thought was awesome. I got some garland, 8 feet of it, and that cost me $4. That was the expensive bit. I also bought some cute little Christmassy things, and they're on baby clothes pegs, which I thought would be really nice to put in between them. And what else did I get? Oh, yes, some extra wire if we need it. So there we go. So this will be, okay, and how much were the command hooks? The command hooks were just $1.25. And if you're giving more than one, you could just put that in a separate little packet. And, if you're giving, and put another one in with somebody else's. So that's these things that I want to do this year are all about how to give gifts that keep on giving. All right. So I think you'll understand that this gift as a wreath, people will have forever if they want to. All right. So they're very easy. Oh, and the one thing I didn't mention here is the actual frame. And the frame was $2.50. Okay, so let's get that off there for starters. And you're probably wondering, why did I want to do wreaths this year? There was a really good reason for it. I always have a good reason for things, right? Remember I said to you, if you're thinking about giving a Christmas gift to anybody who is a gardener, why not think about putting the gifts inside something that would be useful to them, a gift that keeps on giving. And then I thought, well, how am I going to make that look Christmassy? Duh. And then I thought, boy, what if I had a wreath on top of it with the presents inside, and then a really nice, either some red tissue paper or whatever on top. But how many of you can see that that would be an awesome looking present? And the planter cost me a couple of bucks. I haven't got the price on here. But what do you think? Don't you think that's a really nice way? So that's the reason I got one this size, is because it'll fit over there. All right, so now then the first thing I would suggest is I'm going to open this up, and obviously these are brand new because I can't open them. And just before I do that, let me just make sure that I say that this is Thanksgiving week for a lot of you in the States. And I will be doing some of my quotes from about Thanksgiving. Just so that, because it will actually be Thanksgiving for the next broadcast, or Thanksgiving weekend. Actually, maybe I'll save those quotes for next weekend. All right, now then, we've got 6 of these, which is great. But what we've also got is 6. Stay there, don't roll away. I've noticed that there are actually 6 of these crossbars along here. How kind are they? And I feel like I'm about to play snooker. And how many of these have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not 12, but 10. So the first thing I'm going to do is to cut these off. Okay, so apparently that is possible to do. And while I'm doing that, I just wanted to say that I just heard, just before I started the broadcast, I just managed to book my booster shot for my COVID, and that's going to happen on December the 7th. So I thought it would be in December. Okay, so that's good. So that's exciting. I wanted to make sure that we all understand that getting vaccinated before Christmas is a really good idea if you want to stay safe. And also, be very aware of who's coming into your house and whether they are vaccinated or not. I think what happens is we get caught up in the spirit of Christmas and we forget to check. All right, so now then, what I thought I would do, because I like to cheat, what if I thread one of these through, and then I can use the wire at the end here to attach it onto the frame. Okay, so I'm just going to do a basic attachment for the moment because I'm not quite sure. Apparently these come off fairly easily. Hold on one second. You can tell I'm doing this live. There's a reason why they were such a good price off. Okay, so maybe don't twist this too much. Okay, I'm just going to twist it like that. That's good. All right, now then. So we got one of those. one of these. I think I'm going to twist it before I put it on. That might make it easier. That's good. And then, now the leaves on these apparently slide up, so that's good. And then we'll have a colored one, a sparkly one. And while I'm doing this, I just thought I'd do some thoughts and prayers. We heard this week that Kimmy has got some heart issues going on. And so I'm certain we all would like to send her our thoughts and prayers. And if there's anybody else that I should be remembering, so we got, please let me know if anybody else has got thoughts and prayers that are needed. Birthday-wise, I missed one. That was stupid. I thought that it wasn't working out the right way. Go back a little bit. There we go. So that one, we need a dull one. Anyway, so yeah, Jody's going that and hi, for those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin. Hi, Jody. Yeah, the red berries always give such a great splash of color. The other thing you could do is use, the little bows on here. That would look very festive as well. But I just wanted to give you the principle of it so that you can see it's possible to do without spending a whole lot of money. I don't know about you, but how much do you guys spend on average for a Christmas present? For a regular Christmas present. I'm not talking about your family ones, but for other people that you might know. All right, so there we go. We've got, that's looking pretty good, isn't it? And again, I would just remind you all that because we've got supply chain problems, there are a lot of problems with stuff coming out of China now. If you can find stuff in the dollar store, get it, would be my recommendation. Okay, so let's see. I thought this was a series of single ones, but it isn't. It's actually a whole lot of different ones, but I think it could be easier to work with. Now, if I'd known that, I would have done this a different way, but I didn't know that. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more challenging than I thought, or I can be cutting it. Okay, let's try not to cut it and see what happens. So let's get it in the basic shape to start with. Oh, that dropped off again. As I said, there's a reason why they're such a good price. I'm going to leave that off for now, because obviously it's going to keep popping up. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of Gorilla Glue in it before I put it back on. Okay, so that looks pretty good. that works, doesn't it? Huh. Okay. So now then, this is the one that came off. I'm just going to get some glue to put on it. Because obviously if it's come off this many times already, it's going to keep coming off. There we go. Doesn't need a lot, just a little to encourage it to stay. All right, now then, where are we? Hi, Jeannie. Good to see you there as well. Yes, that's what I thought. Jody's saying that usually she spends about $15 to $20, but it's just for a few people. Yes, and I really do recommend that you think about budgeting very carefully. I wanted to make sure that we wish Trina, those of you who know Trina, it's her birthday on the 22nd, so that is tomorrow. Jody, I need to put up, because she's in Ireland, I need to put up a notification tonight, please. Can you bug me this evening to make sure that I do that? And it's her 50th. So happy 50th birthday to Trina in Ireland. Okay, so now we know that this one belongs in here. And what I was hoping, let's see if it works, is just to wind the wire from the red berries to hold the rest of it together. Let's see if it works. Oh, wait a minute, we want the red berries on the top, so duh. Hang on a second. Okay, we can do this. I'm going to take it all off. There we go. And then I'm just going to use this to hold it all together. What do you think? Yep. Let's do it first and then we'll put it back. That works. Now I've got to find a little bit to put the doodad back again. We know it's here. There it is. Okay, small glue. Now, if I thought about it, I would have had my glue gun with me, but I don't. So this probably would be a good time to use a glue gun. And that works. Okay, so now this one came off. Good idea. Jeannie's saying that she bought a green wreath with some acorns on it from Michael's and then added some gingerbread figures. What a great idea. As a matter of interest, how much did that wreath cost you? Because what we're trying to see is, what is the saving by just taking an hour and making your own? Now, I'm not going to worry about doing this too perfectly because obviously I will be playing with it later. Oops. And like all things to do with Christmas, I've got sparklies everywhere now. So just going to put some more of that Gorilla Glue on it. Yeah. All right, so we've got this one. We want a dull one next. I'm just going to hook that around there. So the next one is here, and we want the dull one. It's going to go in here. That works. I also wanted to let you know that Erin's going in for surgery on December the 1st, so we're going to wish her well for that. So we've got one of those. Now we need a shiny one. And what I'm trying to do is not use more than I need to do this. In other words, I'm trying to use the wire that is on these to hold the rest of it together. Okay, so then this one I don't want here. Now that I know these pop up easily, I can use it to my advantage. I think. Let's see where the rest of this is. There we go. Oops. Now this is going to be the top of it, so I'm going to be putting this way because it's got slightly less. It's going to have less garland there. There it is. We need it here. Okay. And I've got one more. I'm trying to make sure I know where the little doodad is here, because that's important. Okay, and we'll put that one on here. Now, that's basically what we're doing. I'm just going to flesh it out a bit now. In other words, just move these around. And while I'm doing that, all right, so Jeannie's saying she found a straw wreath, heart-shaped, at a yard sale with a pilgrim and a boy and girl for 50 cents. Yeah, great time to pick up, think about that while you are going to yard sales in the summer, right? Think about really good-looking stuff. And then what she's going to do is after Thanksgiving, yeah, you get things after Thanksgiving. That's right. It's a good idea. So, and I always try and get things for Christmas after Christmas, when they're trying to get rid of stock. Okay, so well, I think that's already beginning to look pretty cute. I'm quite happy with that, actually. Other than the fact that the balls came off pretty easily. But once we knew that that was going to happen, we could make plan B. Okay, let's keep turning that around. And I'm going to try and remind myself there was a good reason why I left this one hanging down. And that's because that's going to be how it hangs, as they say. Right, so that's, not bad. Aha. This one came off. All right, so now then, in between that, I thought we could put these little things. Well, I thought I would just show you that it's possible to do in different ways. Right, so now I've got these really cute little... Now we need to remember which is topped so they can all hang in the right places, right? This one just says Merry Christmas as well. I'm thinking because I have to think about what's it going to look like when you hang it up. Ah. Okay. So, when dropped. Now, after the broadcast, I am going to get my glue gun out and make sure these are properly adhered. But what do you think? Now, the question is that something that is a gift that will keep on giving? And and that's what I want you to think about, is it's not just a gift for this year. It is a gift for all the years to come if they want to. Yes, Jody's saying wreaths can be so expensive. I've seen them for $80 plus. Homemade are far better looking and personalized. But I was just going to say, now, how would you personalize it so they knew you didn't pick this up from the store? Or if you had one that you picked up from the store, how would you do it? But I'm not finished yet. So, but first of all, let's see if it actually works for the reason that I wanted it to. So imagine I'm going to have gifts in here. Now then, how does that look as a gift altogether? Does it look amazing? Of course, I've got to be able to tie it on, but does that look a whole lot better than just the planter by itself? Yes, Jody's saying one way we could personalize it is by putting on, maybe taking a chalk pen, if you like, and putting their name on one of these balls that are easier to write on. That's a good idea. Now, I must admit, you are going to now hear about something you might not have heard before, but my personal indulgence on Christmas is I love to make bows. How about the rest of you? But before I do that, I want to just take a picture of this because you know what will happen to me. I will forget to take the picture. All right, guys, what did you do with my phone? Right there. It does look quite pretty, doesn't it? I'm quite pleased with it for the amount of time it took. Okay, so now then, one thing that I want you to be aware of is I'm happy with it, is how much fun I have making bows. Now then, the question is, what color bow would look best with it? Now, in order to do this part of the program, I have to tell you, I did go into the shed at the back here. For those of you who don't know, I haven't unpacked from moving into this house yet, but I did go in there and go and get my ribbon, Christmas ribbon, 2 boxes of it. This will tell you that I take Christmas ribbon and bow making quite seriously. What I wanted to do was to see what color ribbon we thought would look best. Now, one of the best presents I ever bought myself was this gizmo. How many of you have one of these? If you are a crafty person, I want to tell you, it's a game changer. It really is. So, But let me just work out first of all. By the way, I keep, if you happen to have somebody who works at an office and they get envelope boxes, get them to save them for you, because I have all my envelope boxes like this. I just paint the front of them so they all are roughly the same color, and they're really good for keeping things that are important in a bookshelf, and you can just look down the shelf and this is all the stuff that you need. All right, now then, the first thing we need to decide is this is how we personalize people. We're going to have such fun. Okay, so that would look pretty on there, wouldn't it? Yeah, I like that. Okay, there's a lot of small. Now here I've got some other bigger ones. Ooh. Ooh. Now, what was it that Jeannie said that for a golfer, you could put a golf ornament or maybe some golf balls, Jeannie? What if you wrapped some golf balls, just wrap some of this crunchy, this sort of ribbon is crunchy, right? So you could actually wrap this around a golf ball and put it in. Clever. Great thinking. All right, let's think of some other things for maybe, and some golf tees. Jody is saying, it's such a shame that your ribbon choices are so limited. Yes, Jody, it takes a real dedication to have this much ribbon available. So my question is, I'm thinking that would look rather gorgeous. What do you think? That definitely would. I don't know if I've got enough of that. That obviously is my first choice. But I think I've got enough. It does take a lot. Maybe I will do this and another one to make it bigger. Okay, so now another thing, for those of you who are into a lot of crafts, my recommendation is at Christmas time, take your ribbons out of the box and thread them on a big dowel or hang on a second. I have to remember where I put this. This was the shower rail that they put up temporarily for me. And I didn't throw it away when they bought my proper one, because I thought, how awesome is that to hang my Christmas ribbon on? Of course, I took that out when I shouldn't have done. Hang on, people. Okay, so if you can imagine now, at Christmas time, take that off. I'm going to have to make some of these holes a bit bigger. But if you can imagine it, Yeah, unfortunately, I've got to make some of these holes bigger for it to work, but I think you can see. All right, so what do you think? So now you've got them all up, maybe between a cupboard and something. I wouldn't have them here, but you understand that you could hang them up with a couple of S hooks. And now for all that time you're doing wrapping and stuff, you can do it. Make sense? And as Jody said, owing to the fact that I got very limited choices, but you get the idea. All right? And then after Christmas, you can take them off there. After you finish wrapping everything up, take them off there. And what it saves you doing is digging through the box all the time. So I used to have a thinner dowel that I used. And now I'm going to make these holes bigger. Not now, but after the broadcast. Let's quickly make a bow, though. All right, so so many choices. Oh, that would look pretty on it too. What do you think? Maybe this and this together would make a unbelievable bow. Or is it too much green? No, you can never have too much. Okay, we're going to use those. Now, I want to tell you, for those of you who've been following my life of unpacking, I could not find this box or these boxes anywhere. And I knew I was going to need them pretty darn soon. And so, I literally had to almost take my shed apart to find them, but I found them. Yay. And I'm also thinking, I could almost wind some of this around. What do you think? Oh, maybe you can't see that. Hold on. Okay, so I could wind this around as well. Would that make even, add it for a last minute to the garnish? Buy your ribbon after Christmas, people. The next year. Stay there. All right, let's make the bow while I've got time. Scissors. Okay, where did I have the scissors? Now, if you've got one of these bow makers, the first thing you need is either some wire, but I'm inclined to use this because you can normally pick this up at a really nice price. Okay, and that's the first thing you do is you put that in like that. Got it? And now you start making your bow. And all you do, and it really is amazing, is you start just by feeding that in like that. And now let's do some of the red as well. And if you notice, what I do is I start by putting the loose end in the center, like that. Okay, that works. And that works. This is lovely stuff. Then I'm going to do this one here. Now, it's quite a joke with my friends, right? I've got to tell you this because when I make these bows for my friends, what they do is they so carefully remove the bow. And 9 times out of 10, the bow is more precious to them than what's inside the gift. It is really funny. All right, so now that's that. We need some more red. Okay, and then some more. I'm going to make it slightly smaller now. You can see why I said I need a lot of ribbon to do this. Okay. Okay, that's good. And now some more of this. How many of you can see me smiling as I'm doing this? This is the reason I say this is a personal indulgence. I just love to make them because they give me such joy when I'm making them. All right, so that's about enough for the bow. So I'm now going to cut this about here. And then end it in the center again, like that. Press it really down. Oh, we need a little bit of this over it, like that. That's into the center. All right, so I'm pressing it down really hard because now I'm going to take these little bits and oh, that was not a good idea. There's a reason why I normally do 2 loads of it. All right, pray for me on this one. I'm going to get some wire. I just happen to have some wire hanging around. That's really what I should have started with. Apparently that's not strong enough, and next time I will use 2 lots of that, not just 1. 2 would probably be strong enough. Hang on a second. Come on. Come on, feed through. There we go. Phew. That could have been a nasty little shock. All right, so let's put it back down there. Oh, apparently this is not so easy when you've got arthritis either. But I have got there we go. Hold on, 1, 2. Where's the other end, people? There it is. Because we don't want that escaping. Okay. And now comes the bit I love, which is now you take all the bits like this. And you just spread them out. Hang on a second. Where are we? Okay. One of this, one of this. This gives me such joy. And again, a gift that keeps on giving, because I'm amazed how many times I have had one of my own bows end up on my next Christmas present from somebody, but with a request that I return it. Oh, thank you very much there. Just an ordinary girl. How kind of you. All right, so how many of you are going? Okay. Pretty. And then, hang on a second. Now, you can probably imagine I can spend hours getting this so that it is right for me. But then what I would do is take more of it, like some more of this. And some more of this. Okay. And then oh, I always do that the wrong way. Duh. Go. It's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty. And then obviously I need to get some more wire. Scissors, people. There we go. Jody's saying, it's making me so happy to watch you in create mode. Yes, it's true, Jody. Really what I'm trying to show you, though, is that this, wasn't rocket science. You didn't need to be incredibly creative to start with to do this. You just need to put things together. Now, I don't know about you, but how many of you would just like to get the bow for Christmas? Because that's what my friends say. Where's my wreath? Oh, yeah. And what I will do is hang the bow in the center. What do you think? And remembering that that's now going to be part of the Christmas present in itself, all right? A gift that keeps on giving. Or, you can basically put it anywhere you want to. Yeah, I think it looks wonderful in the center. And I'm just going to for now, just hang it on there. Oh, that bit came off. That's okay. That's half the fun. Apparently, I meant to tie it on with this. That's how I look at it. So, there you go. Stay there. People want to see you. I could play with this all day. I probably will. There we go. Okay. Where did I put it? So what do you think? Now, do you see how putting the bow on it turned it from a $25 wreath into a $100 wreath just by doing that? And I know that ribbon can be expensive, but I never buy mine at this time of year unless it's on sale. So I'm so happy. And then there's part of me that goes, well, what if I draped some of this around it, But this is more. Can you, don't know, can you see that at that distance? But there's so many different things. When I go to stores after Christmas, I'm looking for stuff like this. And if you look at this, you can also do little bows on it. Give it sort of what I call this, a snowflake effect on it. That would look pretty. And this I picked up at a dollar store for next to nothing. It's wedding stuff. So the trick is, think ahead. And how many of you saw that the greatest joy I have in Christmas is doing stuff like this? All right. Now, another thing that I wanted to think about for you. Hold on a second. At the dollar store, you can pick up these foam ones that are smaller, and you can wrap them, in Christmas ribbon, or again, you can obviously make smaller ones. Interesting. Jeannie's saying that summer yard sales have plenty of inexpensive ribbon. Yes, if you see people, who are downsizing or whatever, they, like me, have probably got a couple of boxes of ribbon somewhere if they call themselves a crafter. How many of you know that I do not consider the money I spend on ribbon a waste of money? To me, it's like, it's my greatest joy. I will see ribbon and I go, oh yeah, I can imagine that. And part of it is different combinations, putting the different combinations of ribbons together. It's really important for me. And I've got, in this box, I haven't got it all sorted out again yet, but in this box, I've got a lot of, there's the wire that I wanted. That's the wire that I use in the center of the bow maker. I knew I had it somewhere, just didn't dig deep enough. But in here, I've got lots of this sort of thin ribbon, which I will be sorting out now, and a wire. And then, all sorts of different types of it that I've picked up, when I was shopping. Maybe, I was in Walmart or something, and I happened to see some in the wedding section. I thought, that'd be really nice to hang things up with. So, I was trying to see if I'd got an old one in here, but I don't think I have. They don't last very long. People don't give them back very often. Oh, this is another thing, people. When you get presents, hang on, I don't know what's in here, but obviously I thought it important enough to save it. When you get presents that have these bits of ribbon and stuff on them, yeah, I have no idea what this is. It's like a keychain, but it had all sorts of little bubbles and little bits of ribbon on it. And what does it say this is? It looks like it came in a Christmas stocking. No, a Christmas cracker. But how many of you know these are now going on that wreath? All right, look at them. Perfect. All right. So to me, right, with little bows as well, I never look at things in one perspective. All right, I always go, I can see how I can use those at Christmas. So whether you make a big one like that, now, I don't know, but what is that wreath worth now? All right, probably a whole lot more than the money I spent on it. And again, think about maybe making smaller ones, right? Because you can. Any questions? That was fun. I enjoyed it. How many of you going, she's got a lot of cleaning up to do this evening? I always find Sunday evenings, it takes me a while to get everything cleaned up. What I want to do, though, is I just want to get one more picture of that before I mess it up, because that's possible. And then go on again. One second. And then think about more ways of personalizing. So if you made that wreath for somebody who is somebody who cooks a lot, could you personalize it, right, by putting in some red silicone spatulas? See it? You see, to me, it's just like the wreath is just the beginning. It's how creative do you want to be? How much do you know the person? If you have somebody who's a crafter, maybe you add some ribbon, extra ribbon, to the design. Maybe you hang some of these at the bottom of it to give them some extra ribbon. So, there's so many different things you can do. And I think it just makes it so personal. As I said, I have a major problem. I actually went to one household and I made a series of bows for the different members of the household, but they were all in the same theme. They were silver and red, or I think they were red and gold. But all the bows, though they were slightly different, had that same thing to them. And the mother in the household went insane because she said, nobody touches the bow. You can take the ribbon that holds the present and cut that if you need to, but do not touch the bow. And she literally went round and collected every one of those bows. And the following year, when I went round there for Christmas time, guess what was in her tree? She had all those bows in different positions in her Christmas tree. I cried. Because if you think about it, wasn't that the greatest compliment? But she took one look at those bows and went, I know where they're going next year. And so now then, how many of you are going? Perhaps the most difficult thing for me is that I make a wreath like that and I then going, who gets it? All right. Now I've made enough to make a second one. So it is my plan to keep one for myself. That would be nice for a change. Or I could make two for myself. Yeah. Jodie's saying that must have looked so pretty, with all those bows in the Christmas tree. And that was the reason why I made them all the same sort of bow, just so that they would coordinate. So again, think about that. All I did was have this and ribbon that I'd collected as I was shopping every month, And again, how many of you know and have noticed I shop for Christmas all year round? All right. I don't wait for Christmas. And I've got some other gifts that I've been making that I hope will keep on giving. And what I will do is I will show you a couple more of them as we do the last few broadcasts. I'd like to remind you it's 34 days until Christmas. I'm so proud of myself. My international cards are gone and I now have my US cards stacked up. They will go in the mail this week. And I am now, because those are ready to go, the US ones, I'm now starting to finalize my local ones. And then the very last ones I will do are the ones that I will hand deliver to my neighborhood here. So it's been, quite something to do this process of making the cards. I think for me, part of the joy of it is I've just realized you could give them an S hook. All right? An S hook is a good idea. I love S hooks. That's the center, right? Hang on. Where can I hang it? Oops. All right, so you see what I mean about personalizing it with whatever it is that person likes in their life. So think about that. I really do like test hooks, but I don't have anywhere suitable I can hang it right now. Maybe I do. You all knew that was going to happen, right? What can I say? It could go now. Right. So, to me, the joy is in the making, quite honestly. Now, Jeannie's saying that she made ham dinner for Johnny, that's her, and her granddaughter and her husband last night because they're not going anywhere for Thanksgiving. You know, what a nice idea. And my question to you is, for those of you in the States, I hope that you will make it a very nice Thanksgiving. You missed out last year, but please, as I said at the beginning, be very careful. Make sure that people are vaccinated. Don't put yourself at risk any more than you would this time last year. And that, to me, is the important stuff, is to remember this is still a killer. And especially for people of my age, I will be very, very careful this Christmas. Very careful. In fact, probably more so than normal, even though I'm about to get my booster in a couple of weeks. So, hope you enjoyed that. And my question is that something you'd like me to do more of? I'm thinking, shall we do some Christmas cookie baking on the Friday ones? Things like that. Yeah, Jeannie's saying we've got one friend who may not be vaccinated, so we didn't ask her. I would say don't presume that she isn't. Just ask her, can she, is she vaccinated? And if she says yes, just say to her, forgive me, but we're asking everybody to prove that. Could you just send me a copy of your, just send me a screenshot of your vaccination? Jody's saying we're staying home and making turkey breast for ourselves with traditional side dishes, not taking any chances by visiting relatives. Jody, you've got enough on your plate at the moment, right? And I think one of the things that we've learned from COVID is as much as we love family, as much as we love our friends, it is really important for us to look after ourselves if we want to carry on doing this. And I know that there's tremendous trouble in Europe at the moment where people who are unvaccinated are getting very angry because more and more things are saying, if you are not vaccinated, you can't do this. And so, very, very important for you to be aware. I don't want to punish anybody, vaccinated or otherwise. You know what I mean? I don't want to punish somebody that isn't vaccinated, but it is their choice. My big question will be, what am I going to do if Big Brother Jeff comes to visit without a vaccine? He's been taking those pills. That's the question I've been asking myself. Do I say no? Or am I vaccinated enough to be able to be safe? Now, I keep thinking about my doctor who sees people every day. I had reason to go see my doctor this week. But, he sees people every day and he seems to be okay, which made me wonder, how likely are we to get it now? And his receptionist seems to be okay, and they don't wear masks anymore. So it is I think the expression It's like playing craps, right? It's a crapshoot. But with my luck, I'd probably get it. So that is why I don't mess with it. So I hope you can see, getting a container in which to put your presents. Remember, that's where we started, right? For a gardener, don't waste money on paper that's just going to fill up the landfill. Think about getting something that will be of use to them. And then if you really want to make it pretty, think about adding the value added to it. Yeah, because you remember that was the whole point. And how many of you would love to see that on your doorstep? Right? So to me, just took a little bit of thinking, how was I going to do this and make it look really special? And you know what else I found? Yvonne, that's for Wade, by the way. Hope he doesn't see this. But for Yvonne, she loves little containers and stuff like that. So what I did for her, I'll show you next time. But the thing is, it's about how much of that will end up in the landfill. They're not going to be ripping paper off it and throwing it in the landfill. By the way, I think I told you all. Let me just double check. Hang on a second. This is the other thing I wanted to make sure that you know. You will remember I unpacked the whole of my house and I did not throw away the paper things were wrapped in. And all my presents this year will be wrapped in the wrapping paper that they used to wrap up my life. And I don't think they will mind because the outer wrapper will be that pretty. Does that make sense? Why? Because this will all end up in the landfill if I don't use it. And I'm also using it for other reasons, all right? I think you all know that I have these little containers that I put my stuff to go into my compost in. I line the bottom of them with more of that paper. All right, so none of that paper is going to be one-use paper. I'm going to make sure that it works for a living. And it is then when it's finished in here, it's going into the compost to feed the worms. So how many of you can see that is now becoming a 3-use piece of paper, not one use? So I want you to think about that, right? Think about gifts that keep on giving. Stuff that is pretty enough that they won't want to throw it away, but also think about how much wasted stuff is going to go in the landfill. I would like to do one broadcast where I show you some of the boxes that I've kept through the year. All right. Because what I also do is I keep interesting looking boxes and repurpose them so that they can become 2-use boxes, not 1-use box. If we all think like that, we're going to waste so much less. And this is a good Christmas to spend less on things that we don't want to do. I've made a point of making sure all my friends overseas, I will not send them presents anymore, even via Amazon, right? Because the cost of doing that is insane. I can't send an international present via Amazon without paying about an incredible amount of money to do that. So I won't do that anymore. I would rather send them that money. Does that make sense? It's just like, hey, here's the money. Go to Amazon, buy what you want to get, and know that I chose not to send it through the mail where it can get damaged, stolen, messed up, whatever. But here's the gift card. Enjoy it. And that way I know people are getting what they want. And I also know what's happening is that they can do it in their own time. They can, get it before Christmas or hang on to it until after Christmas, whatever they want. To me, choices are going to be really important now. So how many of you know I gave this gift to myself about 20 years ago? And it's the gift that keeps on giving to me, that's for sure. And you could see how much fun I have playing with. I'm going to have a lot of fun cleaning up this evening. This is DearMamaSal saying, I love you dearly, and I want you to remember that the gifts that we give, all right, how much money do you spend on the card, on the wrapping, all right? And think to yourself, could I do this a better way? Maybe not this year, but maybe start thinking now about how you could do it better next year. And, just literally, go and get some red paint and paint a whole lot of boxes red, right? Or green, and then, put a couple of bits of sprig on them to make them look more festive. It's just like, how creative can you be if you want to be? This is DearMamaSal saying, I'm going to take my $150 wreath now and enjoy it. By the way, I could have painted the planter red, but the sort of person I'm giving it to wouldn't want a red one. So that's why it's staying that color. But it's definitely a value-added planter now. This is DearMamaSal saying, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.